program today. George Beyrouti. George is a club director down at the St. Petersburg Rotary Club. He has a passion for humanitarian services, which led him to Rotary, and he's held a number of leadership positions, from club president to assistant governor, deputy district governor, and he's chaired a number of committees for Rotary. George would like to share with us information about Rotary grants.
Yeah, I'm going to start by showing you a short video, like 1 minute, about what the Rotary Foundation does. And then
in a world full of challenges, you make solutions possible. Because of you, last year, we funded over 1,090 global grants, 470 district grants, and 310 disaster response grants. Together, we are providing clean water and growing local economies, supporting education, and promoting peace, supporting mothers and their children, providing aid to the communities affected by disasters, and preventing diseases like polio. Last year, donors like you contributed more than $427 million to the Rotary Foundation. Because of you, together, we can do even more good. Thank you for your dedication to strengthening communities around the world. The Rotary Foundation.
I thought this video is to the point and kind of sums up a little bit the work of the foundation. I prepared a presentation to give you a general idea, but basically the foundation has two main functions. One is receiving contributions from Rotarians and friends from all over the world, and sponsoring or supporting Rotary grants on club and district levels all over the world. So we're going to cover these two topics real quickly. And so a little bit about our organization, which is called Rotary International. Rotary started with the vision of one man, Paul Harris, the Chicago attorney, formed the Rotary Club of Chicago on 23rd February 1905. So every year, Rotarians celebrate the anniversary of Rotary International on that specific day. In fact, your club and that have organized a peaceful celebration in that occasion, which was a very good one. Rotary is a global network of 1.4 million members. Just to be clear, this number, you may ask, jumped from 1.2 to 1.4 million because we've been stuck at 1.2 million for several years. The only reason is that Rotary International, during their last Council on Legislation, admitted Rotaract clubs as members of Rotary International. In the past, Rotaract clubs were a project club, and they needed to be sponsored by a Rotary club. And they couldn't do global grants or other grants except in conjunction with the Rotary club, jointly. Now, this 1.4 million is the 1.2 million Rotarians plus the 200,000 Rotaractors that have been added became now members of Rotary International. Same goes for the 45,000 clubs. Actually, there are 35,000 Rotary clubs and 10,000 Rotaract clubs. That's how. Now, clubs are organized into districts. There are 530 districts. Our district is, who knows? 6950, and it has 50 clubs covering 4 counties: Pinellas, Pasco, Hernando, and Citrus. That's our district, 6950. There are 8 districts in Florida. Every district is around 2,000 Rotarians, so you can have an idea. And districts are organized in 34 zones. We are zone 34. We are zone 34, and there are 17 Rotary International directors on the board of directors of Rotary. This is 34 divided by 2, because there is pairing between the zones. So there is a Rotary International director elected for every 2 zones. One time from zone A, like 34A, 34B. That's a little bit about the organizational structure of Rotary. Now, the Rotary Foundation is the charitable arm of Rotary International. It's like a bank. It receives money and it awards grants. The Rotary Foundation transforms your gifts into service projects that change lives both at home and around the world. It was founded in 1917 following a proposal by then past Rotary International President Arch Clump. And there is an award now, or you can become an Arch Clump member or society member if you donate $250,000 plus to the Rotary Foundation. The foundation has spent over $5 billion on sustainable projects so far. Now, how do your contributions help Rotary? Like we said, total givings last year, 23-24, were $427 million. These givings were sent to different funds. The most relevant one for us is the annual fund. That's the $100 every Rotarian every year that per capita, that's every Rotarian is supposed to donate to the Rotary Foundation. So that's $140 million. If you have 1,400,000 Rotarians, some give more, some give less, but on average, that's the money that goes to the annual fund, as well as the Paul Harris Fellow. One Paul Harris Fellow costs $1,000. If you pay $1,000 or someone donates $1,000 in your name, you are recognized as a Paul Harris Fellow. Why the annual fund is important, more for us at least than the others. The annual fund, that money goes through the share system. It means this money, 50% of it comes back to us, to our district. So if we give an example, if our district donates $100,000, or the members in our districts contribute $100,000 to the Rotary Foundation this year, this money, half of it, $50,000, will come back to us in the form of DDF, District Designated Fund. And the other 50% goes to the World Fund. See, 50 goes to the DDF and 50 go to the World Fund. The World Fund funds global grants as well. Just to give an example, if your club is doing a global grant and you contribute $10,000 cash to that grant from your club funds, you do a fundraiser for a project in Brazil, Mexico, whatever, that you believe in, the district will match your $10,000 by, I'm simplifying things, 10,000, and the Rotary Foundation will match the district by 10,000. So your 10,000 becomes $30,000, which is the minimum required for a global grant. Now, in our district, we have made certain changes with these 100%, 100%. The match is now 111.125% because the Rotary Foundation cut down from 100% to 80% their match. For us to keep the total 30,000, if you put 10, so we compensated by increasing the DDF share to 111%. Now, the Polio Plus Fund, this fund is very, very important because we're still struggling to eliminate polio. Now, this fund benefits from the Gates Foundation Challenge. What the Gates Foundation has been doing for several years, for every dollar Rotarians raise for polio, the Gates Foundation contributes $2, match it in $2. So every dollar becomes $3, up to $50,000. So here in this case, last year, probably we raised $40 million or $45 million. And Gates Foundation matched it with 90 million. So it became approximate. But we could have gone up to 150 million because the Gates Foundation are willing to match up to $50 million contribution. Now, the endowment fund is what you put in your trust or estate or life insurance. It's not actually cash given to the fund. It's a pledge. Many pledge in their estate planning or in their trust, or they put as beneficiary in their life insurance a certain amount to go to the Rotary Foundation. The endowment fund is not spent. Only the earnings from that fund are spent. There is about $1 billion in that fund, which is invested in stocks, bonds, etc. So there is a fund management. And what it generates is used to fund Rotary programs. And there are other funds for the Rotary Peace Centers. We have 7 peace centers in the world. We have the Rotary grants of scale. We do one every year for $2 million, etc., etc. Now, these, as I said at the beginning, this money, which is contributed to the Rotary Foundation, is used to fund these grants: global grants, district grant, disaster, and the Rotary Peace Fellowship Centers, and other smaller Rotary programs. Now, there are 5 types of Rotary grants. In our district, you are all familiar with the district grants because I know that many, many clubs participate in the district grants. Not many in global grants, which are more complicated. And we'll show what's the difference between these two. Disaster response grants are grants for $25,000 each that are given to districts that have been suffered from, like we did here with Elaine and Milton. So, but these are, the district could request a district response grant for a disaster that happens within their district. The Polio Plus grants are grants for polio outbreak. Even though we say that most of the world is polio free, there is only 2 countries, we call them endemic: Pakistan and Afghanistan. We are still working on to really eradicate polio from all over the world. That's why we say we are that close to eradicating polio. But sometimes there are outbreaks in different countries. There's been one in New York just a few months ago. So when there is an outbreak, to avoid that it becomes a big issue, immediately Rotary Foundation will launch, to grants to be able to vaccinate children under 5 to eliminate that threat. Now, programs of scales, as I said, it's one program per year. This year it's been awarded to Nigeria. Last year was with Egypt to fight cervical cancer. And so every year it's given to one country. Now, to be able to benefit from these grants, your club every year should apply to be qualified. And this requires mainly signing a memorandum of understanding by the club president and the club president-elect, and attending the grant management seminar, basically, and contribute to the Rotary Foundation annual fund. Now, what's the difference between global grants and district grants? Like we said, global grants, there is a minimum of 30,000. District grant, it's up to the district itself, the district leadership. They decide if there is a minimum or not. But Rotary Foundation does not require. Funding, the global grant, as I said, you have cash from the club, you have DDF from the district, and you have World Fund from the Rotary Foundation. So there is a combination and matching. While the district grant benefits only from a match from the DDF. So if you put $10,000 for a project or 5,000, if we have enough funds, our district will match it. Now, the application, grant application is online. Here is managed by the district. It's usually on DACDB. It's becoming now on DACDB. The areas of focus, and you have a list of them, a flyer on the table. There are 7 areas of focus. For a global grant, your project should align with one of the 7 areas of focus. This is not required for district grant, even though the district could put them as a requirement or put another requirement. Partnership, to be able to receive a global grant, you need to have at least 2 partners. One host partner in the country of the project and one international partner from outside the country. This is a requirement for a global grant. Sustainability is required, measurability is required, scholarship. They fund graduate and postgraduate, while on a district grant, you can fund high school or different vocational and so on. So this is the main difference. As you can see, district grants are very much district specific, not the Rotary Foundation. So they are administered and managed by the district. So district grants are small scale, short term. They could be local or international, aligned with the foundation mission, which is to advance peace and goodwill around the world. It's a single grant awarded per district per year. Now, within that single grant, many clubs could participate in that grant. But as far as the Rotary Foundation, there is one grant granted to the district per year. So example of district grants, as you can see, it could be backpacks. It could be like in this case, Rotarians in District Brazil use district grant to begin Project 3 to provide reading tools for children in poor communities. So these are the type of, I don't know, does your club participate in district grants every year?
We have, definitely.
Okay. Now, global grants support large international activities. Like we said, it should be minimum $30,000. It can go up to 400, maybe more, $400,000 that could be granted. That could be so $800,000. They should be sustainable, measurable, and align with the Rotary area, one or more area of focus. I wouldn't recommend to put more than one area of focus, just complicate things, try to get it 6 to 1. These activities can be humanitarian projects or scholarships. We said, university, undergraduate or graduate, and vocational training team. some examples, like this is a humanitarian project to help women in Honduras through lending, micro credit and so on, and give them the training so they can sustain businesses and increase their home income. Scholarship, this Kenya and Monica received a global grant scholarship to earn a master's degree in peace studies at the University of San Diego. That's a global grant project. This is a vocational training team project. Rotary clubs in Nepal and Japan used the global grant to send a team of health professionals from Nepal to Japan to receive training on emergency care and dialysis. Now, what are the requirements? As we said, align with an area of focus. They should meet a need in the community. That's why your grant application should be supported by a community needs study or assessment. There are the forms. It should be sustainable and measurable. There should be a primary host sponsor and a primary international, have a minimum budget, and 15% of the contribution should come from outside the project country. So if there is a project that's before match, so if it's 100,000, there is 50,000 match and 50,000 club contribution, then 15% of the 50,000 should come from outside the project. The areas of focus, you have them on the flyer, on the table. There are 7. There used to be 6. They added the environment a few years ago. And you can read them here on. So your global grant should fit with one of these 7 areas of focus to qualify. Now, sustainability is very important. The definition of sustainability in Rotary is that sustainability means providing long-term solution to community needs that the beneficiaries can maintain after grant funding ends. We cannot keep funding year after year after year. We should be able to conduct a project, and global grants have a beginning and an end. It's not continuous. You have to start a new grant if you want to help these people again. But they should be able to support themselves once the grant funds have been used. Now, how do we ensure sustainability? We start, as we said, we try to do a project that meets certain urgent needs of the community. We don't come and impose our will on the community. You need this or you need that. That's why we do a study of that community to see if that need is sustainable and it's urgent. We encourage local ownership. We partner, of course, the local Rotary Club, but also other organizations like the municipalities and other NGOs. We provide training, all that to ensure sustainability, and we buy local because you don't want them to send them sophisticated equipment from the States or Germany, and they don't have the resources or the capacity to maintain these. So if we send them a very sophisticated medical equipment, but they don't have anyone locally to maintain that equipment, so the project is bound to fail. So we try to buy local. It could be international equipment, but there will be an agent locally that will support it. Find local funding to, like I said, to continue the project and measure your success. That's the sustainability requirement. When you submit a global grant application, you have to prove that you have looked at these things. Now, sponsors, as we said, a global grant could be sponsored either by a Rotary Club or by the district. The district could be the main primary sponsor. Doesn't have to be a club. Most of them are club sponsors. They must have both a local host sponsor and an international. Sponsors may wish to partner with a cooperating organization specialized in the area. Like when we did a project for peace education overseas for university students, we didn't have the capacity within Rotary at the time. We partnered with another organization from North Carolina called New Gen Peace Builders. that came and gave the workshops and the training to these students. This is called a cooperating organization. So Rotary signs an MOU with that organization who is specialized in that field. We do this with water. I know when we go drill wells or put water filtration, we partner sometimes with the organization who are not Rotarians, specialized in water management. Strong operation, okay, funding. As we said, global grants are funded by cash and or DDF contributions and a World Fund award. Up to $400,000. The Rotary Foundation is willing to match up to $400,000 in World Fund. Our district matches club contributions. As I said, we increased it from 100% to 111% to compensate the 80%, the 20% drop in foundation. Cash contributions cannot come from a cooperating organization or someone who benefits from it. Like if we're doing a project with a school or with a hospital, the hospital cannot come say, hey, I give you money, you give it back to me. The funds should come from outside the beneficiary. Now, recently, a few years ago, because of the high cost of managing the grant application, the Rotary Foundation is putting now 5% processing fee only on cash contribution. If you send the money to the Rotary Foundation for that specific grant, if you open a project bank account and put it directly in that, it's not subject to 5%. Best practices is for one of your or more club members attend a grant management seminar where these things are discussed in more details. Then you have to review the area of focus. For each one of these area of focus, there is a manual that explains what's applicable, what's not applicable. Connect with the regional grant officer. That's what I always recommend. And the advise clubs, when you have an idea of a project that you would like to fund through a global grant, once you have some information, you don't have to have all the information. You can contact the regional grant officer in Evanston, in the headquarters. In our case, it's Renee Reiling. And send her a short email. I have this project in mind. Could you give me some advice? That's before you waste your time and start doing all the work and then find out it's not eligible. So this is a good idea to do it. You can also connect with the cadre member of Rotary International, complete a community assessment, and have a robust sustainability and planning and training plan. The process, sponsors must complete a global grant application. It's all done online. Okay, you go to the grant center, provide the information, the budget, sources of fund. Once completed and submitted, it should be authorized by the primary contacts of the grant, the club presidents, sponsored, involved, and the district Rotary Foundation chair and the district governor. Then it's reviewed by the Rotary Foundation staff, and they are either approve, reject, or ask for additional information. Sponsors must stay up to date in grants reporting. So you have to send progress reports every year. And once the project is completed, within 2 months, send a final report. So this grant, and that's how you can access the grant center. You log into www.rotary.org, go to My Rotary. How many of you have registered or have access to My Rotary? Yeah, it's very simple. Put your email, password, like anything else, and then you can log in. You will have information about your club, number of members, projects, whatever information. And then if you either sign in or register, if you don't have an account already, go to the grant center and apply to renew that. Now, the life cycle of the Rotary grant, when you start entering information on the online application, immediately you get a grant number, global grant number, but it's in draft form. Once you complete it, then you send it for authorization by the concern from both international and local. Then it's submitted, once approved, and then, as we said, completion, you would have to submit your final report. Now, I recommend highly that every club, every Rotary club, have a club Rotary Foundation committee, and you have a paper on your table that states what are the responsibilities of a club Rotary Foundation committee. But mainly, the club Rotary Foundation committee is responsible to encourage club members to donate to the Rotary Foundation, either through the every Rotarian every year. Per capita recommended is $100 per member per year. Now, I know many donate much more, or through the Paul Harris Fellow, or major donor. There are many opportunities to donate to the annual fund. And I insist the annual fund because, like I said, the annual fund, we get money back. Polio Plus is important. Other disaster response grants, but annual fund comes back to us. Endowment fund is good if you want to give a long-term, permanent contribution. So you need to promote foundation grants activities, qualify the club for Rotary Foundation grants, motivate club members to give to the foundation, collaborate with the district Rotary Foundation committee and international to develop and fund projects, work with the club treasurer to submit donation to the foundation and to manage any foundation grant, work with the club membership and public image committee to ensure a positive club experience and club image. So when you do a global grant, you need to inform the media and use it to promote your club, attract new members, attract new donors to your club, because they can see that you're doing good in the community and abroad. Basically, these are some resources that you can find online, a learning center, the global grants. Thank you. Do you have any questions?
Yep.
Okay, I'll.
Okay. You got some.
Yeah. Seema.
I was just wondering if you could talk for a minute about the Mexico project you described and the human trafficking project, just to give everybody an overview.
Yeah, human trafficking, as you may all know, is becoming a very big issue within our district, within our counties, Pasco, Pinellas, and so on. So there's been a lot of effort during the last 2 years, including myself, for our district to get involved in a project to combat human trafficking. We thought of club level, district level, and then at one point, all 8 districts within Florida decided to do a joint project to combat human trafficking on 3 years. Year 1, year 2, year 3, $450,000, $150,000 every year. That will involve all 8 districts. Now, the primary sponsor is District 6980. But our district is very much involved and interested. And I just wanted to share this information with you because I know some of you may be interested to get involved personally in this project, have a personal interest. And as soon as I know more about if any committees is going to be formed within that big project, then I could get in touch with you, and those who are interested could join.
What did Rotary International do about